Good afternoon. May I have your attention, please? Minister Lintilä, Director General Gurry, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Finnish Patent and Registration Office, it gives me great pleasure to wish you all warmly welcome to this seminar, which we organize on the occasion of the visit to Finland by Dr. Francis Gurry, Director General of the World Intellectual Property Organization. My name is Jorma Hanski and I will act as a chair in this seminar. The opening addresses for this seminar will be made first by Minister Lintilä, Minister for Economic Affairs, followed by Director General Gurry. Minister Lintilä, please, the floor is yours.
Yes, Mr. Director General, honored guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to open the seminar IP Rights as Key Success Factors for AI-Driven Businesses. It is also a great pleasure and a privilege to welcome the Director General of the World Intellectual Property Organization, Mr. Francis Gurry, to Helsinki. May I also say that I am honored to see many world-ranking experts of artificial intelligence and IPR in this room. If I look back to IPR-related industrial history globally, my first thoughts are in several technological disruptions. Those disruptions were typically raised by new innovations in technology and also new ways of dissemination of copyrighted works. There have also been many changes in working life, and we have seen the rise of data and computer-related machines. This is how industry transforms. The international copyright system has seen, among other things, the rise of the recording industry, broadcasting, the internet, and now AI. In patenting various generations of new technology have challenged the system in many ways. Facing these changes, the international community has been able to adapt and agree on basic principles relating to new technology. But the change that is now upon us may be even more abstract and hard to understand. That is the artificial intelligence. We are now discussing the possibilities and requirements of expanding copyright and patent protection to new kind of object of protection and right holders. We are discussing the rights relating to algorithms, their owners, and creators, and AI applications. We will also be discussing profound moral issues like should be IP protection concerning AI be limited only to human creators? AI and IPR are in a field of many very interesting questions. How should we design the protection of the AI investments? Should AI creations enjoy copyright protection? Can AI be an innovator in the sense of patent law? These are important issues and have broad implications to our legal system and societies, not forgetting the many moral implications involved. AI is not only about robotics, but also about people understanding what is automated, what data is collected, and how the AI is present in their everyday life. It is fair to say that we already experience AI in operation when we use, for example, Google or Facebook. We need to adapt to the world of AI and big data. Data is one of the key components when we talk about AI. It is also of great importance to start looking how AI will be incorporated into our legal institutions and what international harmonization measures may be needed. Similar issues are coming to the forefront regarding data. Who owns the data? Or should data have owners in the first place? Do I own my own data relating my life? Who has the right to use and access data? Globalization is happening and has a page-turning moment with AI and robotics. The World Intellectual Property Organization is in the heart of this change. WIPO is the global forum for intellectual property services, policy, information and cooperation, a self-funding agency of the United Nations with no less than 192 member states. WIPO's mission is to lead the development of a balanced and effective international intellectual property system that enables innovation and creativity for the benefit of all. The coming years will be very important in understanding how to deal with this new phenomenon and how to shape the international practices regarding this very demanding area of modern software technology. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I wish you all a very pleasant and busy day discussing these great challenges ahead of us. Our task is not a modest one. Welcome to the seminar. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. I'm okay. Minister Mika Lintilä, Minister for Economic Affairs, Ambassador Terhi Hakala, Permanent Representative of Finland to the United Nations in Geneva, and Mr. Antti Riivari, the Director of PRH. Ladies and gentlemen, it's really an immense pleasure and a great privilege to be with you here in Helsinki today, in this excellent weather, that you have put on, and to be able to participate in this seminar on intellectual property rights as key success factors for AI-driven business. It's a pleasure to do so in a country with such an advanced consciousness of the importance of innovation to competitiveness and to building a strong economy. And also in a country which is one of the outstanding and leading performers in innovation capacity worldwide, featuring on our Global Innovation Index in number 7 position in the world, which is quite an extraordinary performance. I'd like to take this opportunity to extend our thanks to Finland, and through you, Minister, to the Government of Finland for your consistent and constant and constructive engagement in the international development of intellectual property policy at the World Intellectual Property Organization, which you have just confirmed once again. We're deeply grateful for that, especially in times when international cooperation in general in all of the international organizations is challenged. So we are really very, very grateful to you for this engagement and for your consistent support for the World Intellectual Property Organization. It's very timely that this seminar is held. I know that in Finland you are extremely advanced in the field of artificial intelligence, but I think that we are all at the start of a long conversation and a long journey in trying to find the right policy settings that are going to do what intellectual property has always supposed to be doing, and it is to favor, on the one hand, innovation, to find the appropriate policy settings for investment in innovation, but on the other hand, also to have an innovations system and policy settings for it that enable the social benefit of innovation to be widely shared. It's impossible, I think, at this stage in the development of artificial intelligence to predict or to foresee its full development and all of the economic and social implications. We just published, as many of you will know, a study trying to establish the landscape for what is happening in the field of scientific publications and patent applications, and also to some extent mergers and acquisitions in the field of artificial intelligence. That study is available on our site, and we've brought a number of paper copies of it with us that are available. Some of the highlights of that I think are quite interesting. It tells us in many respects what I think we thought we knew, but it also gives us some insights into areas that we may not have known. It does show that since 2013, there has been a big surge in patenting activity in the field of artificial intelligence. 50% of all of the patent applications that have been filed since the 1950s in the field of artificial intelligence have been filed since 2013. There's a very nice sequencing of science and technology. We see that there was an enormous surge in scientific publications relating to artificial intelligence around about 2003, and then some 10 years later, 2013, you see a surge in the technological applications of that science in terms of patent applications. We do see that 78% of all filings in the field of artificial intelligence have come from United States, China, and Japan. So there are clear leadership positions that have been established. Amongst the top 20 corporate filers, 12 of those have come from Japan, 3 from the United States, and 2 from China. Machine learning is the dominant technique, artificial intelligence technique that we see come through, accounting for just over a third of all filings of patent applications in the field of artificial intelligence. And then lastly, just as a highlight, we do see that artificial intelligence techniques are penetrating all fields of commerce and industry. And transportation is coming out at the moment on top at around about 15%. So I think one of the things that this study does tell us is that the traditional categories of intellectual property, which really are creations of the Industrial Revolution, do have an application to this very new field of artificial intelligence. But it doesn't tell us what gaps there are, and Minister, you have mentioned a number of the questions, the salient questions that are out there, and I totally agree with you that the question of data, because when we consider artificial intelligence, we're really considering data and algorithms, and the patenting activity is focusing perhaps on the algorithms, but the question of data, property rights in relation to data, whose data are they, and a consequence of the property rights, access, will be dominant questions that we will see emerge in the course of the following decades, I would say. We would like to start at the international level a conversation about these issues so that countries, advanced countries like Finland, are able to share some of their experience and inform a conversation and nothing more at the international level. I think we're far from the stage of proposing any solutions. We're really trying to articulate, I think, at this stage, the right questions. Now, outside the field of artificial intelligence and intellectual property, we do see that intellectual property itself has experienced extraordinary growth rates in the course of the last 10 years in particular. Those growth rates have far outperformed the growth rates of the world economy, so that the number of intellectual property applications that we see worldwide now is quite exceptional. In 2017, it was 3.2 million patent applications were filed around the world. 12.4 million trademark applications were filed around the world, and about 1.2 million industrial design applications were filed worldwide. Now, those volumes are creating the need for the application of artificial intelligence to the administration of intellectual property as well. To take just one trivial example, if we consider the Mercedes symbol or any other symbol, 12.4 million trademark applications, humanly it's almost impossible to, even with classification systems, to be able to look to see if an application is anticipated or to preserve as a trademark owner that brand within that volume. Artificial intelligence such as image searching systems, one of which we've developed, I think are going to be extremely important in the administration of intellectual property by state intellectual property officers, also in the management of intellectual property portfolios by companies. And then lastly, this is a vast subject, but let me just touch on the subject of copyright and artificial intelligence, and I'm only just going to touch upon it. But I think if we look and see all of the data that is flying around the world and the internet, and we consider the institution of copyright within that context, it's quite clear that artificial intelligence can help us in the management of copyright in the future. And in particular, for the monetization of copyrighted works, artificial intelligence is going to be exceptionally important. For that, we do need to develop new tools, and thank you to Finland for the leadership it's showing in this area in thinking about the questions that we need to start to answer questions such as traceability. If you consider the ringtone market for copyrighted works, just as one example, it's just one example of the bits and pieces that are flying around there in terms of data, and traceability, metadata are going to be key to our solutions. Another small example, if I may give, comes from the area of deep fakes, which is a consequence of deep learning, and deep fakes are now so genuine that it is extremely difficult to be able to say that a person, a figure standing there and giving a speech, actually didn't give the speech. And it's a complete creation of artificial intelligence by reconfiguring data. That will bring the old questions of moral rights back, and the old system of copyright will become, I think, will have a renewed importance in this environment. So there are many, many questions that are out there. We're very grateful to you all for coming together to inform us about some of these questions this afternoon, and I wish you all very fruitful deliberations. Thank you.